Chronicles of the Grim Reaper, A Soldier's Shadow, by Griz Calderon. Maverick was a gift, a small colt with legs too long for his body and a stubborn streak that made him hard to handle. The boy's parents had given Maverick to him on his 12th birthday, a gift meant to teach responsibility, but the bond that formed between them was something deeper than anyone had expected. From the moment Maverick was placed into his hands, the boy poured his heart into training him. They were inseparable, exploring every corner of the countryside together. Maverick learned to follow the boy without reins, respond to his voice, and even find him if they were separated. "One day," the boy would say, running his fingers through Maverick's mane, "you'll save me out there. I know you will." Years passed, and as they both grew, so did their understanding of each other. They moved as one, Maverick anticipating every command, the boy trusting him without hesitation. When the boy came of age, like many young men before him, he was called to war. Maverick was not left behind. The two arrived at their first battlefield together, the boy now a soldier with Maverick at his side. The conflict, a grueling campaign known as the War of the Iron Hills, was fought over disputed borders and wealth hidden beneath the mountains. Horses were not just tools, they were companions, trusted to carry men through the chaos of musket fire and cannon blasts. Maverick had run alongside the cavalry, feeling his master's steady grip on the reins as the two charged across open fields and through ravaged towns. Maverick carried wounded men to safety, shielded his rider behind his broad frame, and listened for his whistle when separated. They survived, though many did not. Maverick often glimpsed the Grim Reaper walking quietly through the aftermath, collecting the souls of both men and beasts. In the War of the Scarlet Plains, Maverick grew older, but no less vigilant. His master had been promoted, but despite his higher rank, he refused to ride any horse but Maverick. "We're a pair," the soldier would say. "I trust him more than any man." The battles were bloodier, the deaths heavier. Bombs split the earth, fire roared across fields, and the cries of fallen soldiers echoed into the sky. Maverick carried his master through it all, his hooves splashing through mud laced with crimson. Horses fell by the hundreds, their bodies lying beside those of men who had led them. Maverick mourned silently, nudging fallen comrades with his muzzle, before moving on. Years passed, and with each war, Maverick and his rider returned to the farmstead. In those quiet moments, the soldier would brush Maverick's coat under the stars and whisper, "One day, we'll stay here for good. Just you and me, Maverick." But peace was fleeting. The call for the War of the Eastern Front arrived when the soldier was graying at the temples and Maverick's coat had dulled. Still, they answered, loyal to the end. In this war, there was no glory, only survival. On a fog-drenched morning, amidst the ruins of a burning village, danger loomed suddenly. A barrage of artillery fire threatened to engulf the entire company, soldiers and horses alike. Without hesitation, Maverick and his rider surged forward, positioning themselves between the advancing fire and their comrades. The first blast struck close, but they held their ground, urging the others to retreat. A final shell burst directly in front of them, the explosion roaring as Maverick reared, shielding his rider from the brunt of the blast. The soldier crawled to his companion, cradling Maverick's head in his lap as the fires crackled around them. "It's all right, boy," he whispered, his voice cracking. "We'll rest now." As the smoke thinned, the Grim Reaper stood before them. His cloak billowed like the shadows of night, but there was no malice in his gaze. He reached out, touching the soldier's shoulder and resting his hand gently on Maverick's mane. You both fought long enough, the Reaper said softly. Your sacrifice saved many today. You will be remembered. The soldier rose, feeling lighter than he had in years. Maverick stood beside him, whole once more. As they walked into the endless horizon, the battlefield faded behind them. For the first time in decades, they were free. Rest now, the Reaper whispered. No more war. No more death. You're together, and that is all that matters. The end.